Age fans, people in the interwebs, it's me, Sam SG1, back for another Star Trek the official Starships collection review, and this time we're doing issue number 85, Federation Holoship. Oh, I'm destroying it already. Now this has a bit of a contention among fans, as in, why would they build this ship? But I'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, as per usual, you get the, come on, stay on your stand, you twat. Nice glossy magazine and the ship itself, but more on that in a little bit. So we'll get straight onto it. Specification: type Holoship, affiliation Federation, launch 2370s, length 274 meters approximately, 47, and it has a cloaking device. Federation Holoship. From the outside, the Federation Holoship is hardly the most dynamic looking vessel. Its coffin-shaped exterior and drab appearance belied the fact that it was a holographic technology inside that could simulate almost the most exciting and enticing environments in the galaxy. And we get a really nice CG shot of it there. It's the aft section, I think. Yes, it is. It's really cool. And then we've got some images, another CG shot there, that's really cool. Then we've got some images from the movie it appears in, Star Trek Insurrection, when they find it in the lake. Now, this, having it hid in the lake seems a bit odd. They replicate this in Star Trek Into Darkness, but hiding a starship in a large body of water, especially one equipped with transporters, I find a touch illogical, due to the fact that if you're in orbit, a geosynchronous orbit at that, they would never know, they'd never see it, because the ship's, only 200 meters, in length. You just, if the light of the sun caught it, it just looked like a glowing speck in the air. But it just seems a bit illogical that they would hide it in the lake for anyone to find, unless it was, powered down on that. But when Picard and Data get to the ship, and Anish, well, firstly, the ship's got its cloaking device activated, and secondly, the holodeck of the village is aboard. They've already created it. Unless the reason why it's there is the sonar officers and the Starfleet officers are scanning the village, wearing the environmental suits, the camouflage suits, and then going to the ship and then programming it in. But again, they could just beam it back to the ship. It's a cool image, don't get me wrong, of the cloaked ship in the water there. But yeah, it just seems a bit illogical. But anyway, because it's never really explained why it's in the water in the film, just that the Enterprise crew find it. It was almost certainly Vice Admiral Dougherty who acquired the Federation Holoship in order to relocate the Baku. He knew that it was immoral to remove the peaceful race from their planet against their will. He just felt justified because of the metaphysic radiation would benefit millions of lives for the small price of moving just a few hundred Baku. He received his just desserts when Ruafa killed him by stretching his face into one of Ruafa's surgical chairs. Yeah, it's quite a weird thing that you see his face go and it all splits open and stuff. It's quite nasty. And then we got the topographical view of it there. It's pretty cool. It's very nice. Federation Holoship was fitted with a cloaking device, even though this was a violation of the Treaty of Algeron. The pact between the Federation and the Romulans was made in 2311, in which expressly prohibited the development or use of cloaking technology by the Federation, with the exception of the USS Defiant. That had a cloaking device, and the agreement with the Romulans was they could use it in the Gamma Quadrant, but not in the Alpha Quadrant, although they use it on occasion. And then we've got designing the Federation Holoship by John Eves, and you can see here this is more of your standard Starfleet ship with saucer, nacelles, a bridge, even what looks like a phaser emitter there. That could be the navigation deflector, and then we've got some more sort of ocean liner looking ones there, sort of big yacht type ones. Again, this would have worked. I don't know why they just went with like a coffin essentially. I do like this section, one of my favourite sections of the magazine. is designing the ship, and then we've got the sort of, you know, the pre-designs of it there, and it sort of slowly becoming what it eventually become in the film, which is always really cool. And then we've got Star Trek Insurrection, the screenplay, so it goes into right in the film, and you know, Insurrection gets a bit of a bad rep. I love the film. I think it's a great film. It feels like the show did. It feels like an episode. I mean, that's no bad thing, but it feels like TNG. You know, it felt like the crew were back together, and you know, it felt like a later, you know, season 6, season 7 episode. Again, no bad thing. I really love the film. I think it's great. It's got a fantastic soundtrack as well. The late great Jerry Goldsmith did a phenomenal job on the soundtrack. I mean, I love the Baku Village theme. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. And then we got, I think that might be the teaser trailer, or at least an international trailer. I don't know what the Enterprise E's firing from its torpedo launcher there. But yeah, it's really cool. And then we've got the late great Michael Piller, and then you've got Anthony Zerbe playing Admiral Dougherty. And then we've got more images of the film itself, with its villain Ruafo and Worf with a Klingon pimple known as a Gorch. And then we've got the transporter drones. I think Ruafo herself, Anij, who's quite lovely, and Troy and Riker having a bath. And then we've got on screen, its only appearance was in Insurrection. It was designed by John Eves, of course. The use of the Federation Holoship to relocate the Baku to another planet without their knowledge may have been inspired by Star Trek The Next Generation Season 7 episode Homeward, we saw the Boralans being transported to a holodeck recreation of their world aboard the Enterprise D, and then being resettled on another world. This pre-warp civilization was almost wiped out when the atmosphere of their planet was destroyed. Dr. Nikolai Rishenko, Worf's adopted brother, tricked Captain Picard into saving them when, although it went against the Prime Directive. The scenes of the holoship in the Baku planet were filmed at Convict Lake in the Sherwin Ridge of Sierra Nevada, California. The temperature in the water on the day Brent Spiner was, as Data walked into it, was a numbing 5 degrees. Understandably, Spiner wanted to make sure that he got the scene done in one take. But as it happens, only stuntman Brian J. Williams walk into the lake used in the final cut of the movie. The only other purpose-built holoship seen in Star Trek was the one built by the Hirogen with the help of Voyager's crew, so they could hunt holographic prey instead of actually killing other species. And there we go, there's the magazine. And then we go onto the ship itself. Now, this is all plastic. There's no metal parts on this at all. So, Eagle Moss, you're lying to us when you say these are die-cast. This is plastic. There's no plastic parts, like clear plastic parts on there, but then, I mean, you could put there, I guess, and because that's the Buzzard collection, that's the warp nacelle, and then you've got the main bridge there, and then it just looks like I'd say like a Borg probe, really. I mean, you colour some of these parts in green, you've got a Borg ship. It is a bit lacklustre. I mean, it works okay for the film. I mean, it's no... The only nitpick I've got with the model, it's plastic. There's no metal on it. I mean, it works for the story in the film, that this is just a huge holodeck and a main bridge and a warp drive, basically, is what this ship is. But I think... I mean, it's some real, like I said, some really nice sculpted detail on the actual model itself. Some really nice cool panel lines and stuff. But again, it just... I don't know, it just seems like... I guess they cobbled the ship together quickly and quietly and out of the way. You know, Section 31 style. So basically they just needed a ship with a holodeck. But then again, any ship would have worked, I guess. But again, like I said, hiding it in the lake just seemed a bit odd. Because like I said, it's got full of transporters. unless it was just being powered down and the cloaking device and the holodeck was anything that's been operated. But then again, you could do it in orbit. It would say, anyway, it's a nice visual for the film. It's something a little bit different as well. But other than that, you could skip this one. I feel it's not really doing anything, but it is nicely put together. Apart from the plastic and no metal, the impulse engines are in yellow rather than red. But yeah, it's okay. Again, in the movie, it just works for what it is. You know, there's like a big gap there. I don't know if that's supposed to be the navigational deflector dish or anything. In fact, let me just check what it says in the old booklet. No, it doesn't really say anything. Well, it says that these blue sections on the top are computer processing centres. It would need a lot of computer power to run a continuous holodeck, and slowly sort of change the environment, I guess, as the ships move into a different planet. But you know, it's a nice model, but for a ship that really they could have done without. And I do believe this is the first and only model of this ship. Yeah, it's definitely one you could skip, I feel. Only for a completionist like myself. Or another word, an idiot. And it comes with the plastic connector and the obligatory black stand, and it just says Federation. Oh, there we are, Federation Holoship, and it connects to the stand rather unsecurely. Thus, just got to get it in the right place a little. There we. Are you gonna get on there? There we are. And it sits thusly. Like I say, it's definitely a miss. I feel you could miss this out and not even notice it wasn't there. You know. But overall, not a bad model. I feel that this could have been much later down the line, like one of the last ships. But it's issue 85, so you know, because we nearly finished our initial run, which was 90. Then they went 110, and now it's going to be at least 130, perhaps more, which is good because I love these things. But yeah, if you are cherry picking, leave this one out. And I don't say that usually, but yeah, you could have the entire collection except this one and not even notice it wasn't there. So, but yeah, not too bad. I don't mind it, but it is a ship that I could have, you know, not had, but not too bad at the end of the day. It's nice that they included it, I must admit. I mean, it is quite an obscure ship. I mean, apparently they're still trying to find the renders for the sonar ships. Now, those ships I'm looking forward to. So yeah, so that's me. That's the Federation Holoship, and I shall catch you later. Bye for now.